Hey everyone, it's Nigel Mustafa, and I just wanted to remind you to stay in your word, stay reading the word of God, stay praying, stay fasting, press on, and even when you don't feel it, when you don't feel like fasting and praying and reading the word, we have to remember to have our personal time with God. Go in your room and pray to the Lord and meditate on his word and always speak the word of God. What he says, speak it, because it says in Romans 10:10 that confession through our mouth and belief in our heart is very important to salvation, and salvation is a breakthrough in any area of our life that we're looking to see, in any area of the world or wherever God has put a burden in our heart. We should always speak the word of the Lord concerning that. Hold on to the Lord's promises, always pray. Be prayerful when you remember to know that God is not disappointed in you. You have a heart to please the Lord. So continue to read the word of God and to press in and to meditate and to speak the word concerning where you're called to speak the word of God in your life. And never give up, because if you don't quit, you'll win. I just want to remind you guys, I was definitely reminded this Sunday at church when Pastor George was preaching on having the burden of the Lord and pretty much not casting off the burden that God's placed on your heart, because a burden doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel comfortable, but God hasn't called us to live comfortable lives. He hasn't called us to be lazy. The Lord has called us to take on his burden, to weep for what he weeps for, to intercede for what breaks his heart. He wants to share his burden and his passions with us. And the Lord has given each and every one of us a different burden and passion. Some may be for the poor, some may be for the orphans. You may have a passion in your heart for abortion and whatever it may be. And in church, Pastor George is telling us about this couple that goes to our church and who serves there, and he was telling us how they have a burden for the people who are getting abortions, and they have a burden for the babies. And since they've been doing this for a really long time now, and they've been standing in front of the abortion clinics with the red tape on their mouth and it says life, and a lot of people have told them that because they were standing out there, it helped them to make the decision to keep their babies. And so that's just an example. They had that burden for abortion. So wherever you're passionate about, where you get angry about something, it may be to where the Lord has called you. And I feel like sometimes we get to the point where we feel like we can't make a big difference in this world. So we say, I'm just not going to do nothing. But I'm here to encourage you, because you're here, because you're listening to this video, because you hear what I'm saying. The Lord is telling you right now that you are capable of doing what he's called you to do. So that burden that you have, don't feel helpless about it, like you can't do anything or you're not qualified. Because if you have a mouth and you have a heart, you are qualified to help out in some way. So we need to continue to stay in fellowship and communion with the Lord, continue to stay in communion with his word, and make small steps every single day to make a difference in the world around us. And I encourage you not to cast the burden off. Esther didn't cast her burden off. She almost forgot for a while there, but then Mordecai was there to remind her, this is what you're here for. So never forget what you're here on this earth for, because this is not our temporary home. This is not our permanent home. This is our temporary home. So we should always keep in mind where we're going to be living for eternity. And I just want to encourage you guys today. And you continue to have a blessed day. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.